Welcome to Book Summaries. Dear friends, have you ever wondered how some people can become incredibly wealthy while others struggle to make ends meet? Does it make you question if there is a secret formula to becoming rich that you might be missing? In society, there is a clear distinction between the rich and the poor, not just financially, but also in terms of mindset and attitude towards life. The wealthy often have different actions and habits compared to the poor, and this reflects in how they approach life and success differently. Overall, there are certain things that the rich typically do that the poor usually do not. These actions and mindsets are not just differences between the two groups, but also key factors determining success and prosperity in life. In this video, Book Summaries will share 10 things that the rich do which the poor don't. These habits often create the difference between financial success and financial difficulty. Before diving into the content, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and share to support us. Thank you very much. Lesson 1. The rich believe in the law of income. The rich believe that they will be paid in proportion to the value they bring to the market. This means that if someone provides a product or service that people want or need, they will be paid accordingly. The rich understand that output is the only measure that matters because we live in a results-oriented world. Conversely, the poor believe that they should be paid based on the time they spend on an activity. The rich understand that to have a high income, they need to focus on creating real value for others. This often requires them to work hard, be creative, and be patient in developing products or services that the market is seeking. Moreover, the rich view value production as more important than merely investing time and effort. They not only focus on working hard but also on creating real value from every hour they work. This mindset drives the rich to adjust their approach to work and business. Instead of focusing solely on immediate income, they invest in developing skills, knowledge, and relationships to create long-term and sustainable value. Lesson number 2. The wealthy love reading books. The mindset of the wealthy is often highly regarded for its emphasis on reading and learning from various sources of knowledge. A distinctive trait of successful individuals is their love for reading and their commitment to continuously enhancing their knowledge through books. The wealthy understand that knowledge is a crucial factor in achieving success and prosperity. They believe that reading not only broadens their understanding of various fields, but also helps them develop reasoning skills, creativity, and time management. Moreover, books are an endless resource that the wealthy use to hone their knowledge and skills. By reading, they can access advanced thinking, successful business strategies, and personal development secrets. The wealthy often dedicate daily time to reading, not just for entertainment, but also to seek new opportunities and self-improvement. They may read books from different fields such as business, science, psychology, and the arts to gain a comprehensive and deep understanding of the world around them. Warren Buffett, possibly the greatest investor in the world, was once asked about the key to success. He pointed to his books and said, "Read 500 pages like this every day." He is not alone in the club of avid readers. Mark Cuban, the owner of the Dallas Mavericks, spends 3 hours reading each day. Bill Gates, the founder of Microsoft, reads 50 books a year, nearly 1 book per week. Elon Musk, the creator of Tesla, is also an avid reader and claims that he learned how to build rockets by reading textbooks. This mindset helps the wealthy not only become outstanding leaders but also confident, knowledgeable individuals willing to face any challenges on their path to success. This demonstrates that a love for reading is an essential part of their thinking. Meanwhile, only 1 in 50 poor people admit to having adopted the habit of reading and self-improvement daily, resulting in a lack of knowledge to make decisions leading to financial prosperity. Lesson number 3. The rich focus on opportunities, not obstacles. Once, a shoe salesman found himself in a distant country, trying to sell shoes to the locals. The only problem was that none of them had ever worn shoes. Selling was quite difficult, and the salesman quickly gave up in frustration and decided to leave the area. On his way out, he met another shoe salesman heading into the town. The first salesman said, "The people here don't even have shoes." The eyes of the second shoe salesman widened. "No one has shoes. That means I can sell a pair to everyone in this town. We're so lucky to have stumbled upon an untapped market." You see, it's all a matter of perspective. The poor often see obstacles and quickly give up, while the rich see opportunities and engage in areas that many wouldn't dare to dream of. The mindset of the rich typically focuses on recognizing opportunities rather than concentrating on obstacles. They have the foresight to identify potential opportunities in every situation, even in challenges and difficulties. Instead of being overwhelmed by problems, the rich often see them as opportunities for growth and success. They evaluate situations not only based on difficulties but also on the potential and benefits they can bring. This focus on opportunities allows them to discover new, creative, and effective ways to achieve their goals. Instead of getting stuck or accepting obstacles, they continuously seek and exploit new opportunities to advance in life and career. This reflects their flexibility and creativity in thinking. Instead of being limited by existing constraints, they often find ways to overcome them and leverage every opportunity for growth and success. By focusing on opportunities, the rich not only become more confident in facing challenges but also turn every obstacle into a stepping stone for progress and prosperity. This highlights the positive, decisive, and relentless pursuit of success. Lesson 4. The rich prefer to network with successful people. The wealthy often have a different mindset compared to the poor, and one of these differences is their preference for associating with successful people. They recognize that their social environment can influence their success, and therefore, they often seek interactions with successful and positive individuals. The rich understand that networking with successful people not only provides them with opportunities to learn and grow but also creates a positive environment that continually motivates them to advance their careers and achieve their personal goals. They usually aim to foster relationships with those who have a positive influence and are willing to share their experiences and knowledge. This demonstrates their confidence in engaging with a positive and useful social network, where they can learn and exchange ideas with experienced and successful individuals. They understand that connecting with successful people can create new opportunities and expand their network, while also providing encouragement and motivation in their journey to achieve their goals. Meanwhile, the poor often show less interest in associating with successful people and tend to interact with those who have negative mindsets or lack motivation. This reflects the differences in mindset and perspectives on social environments and their impact on personal success. Lesson 5. The wealthy are willing to promote themselves and their value. Most wealthy individuals possess a skill or idea that has brought them wealth, and they do not hesitate to share their strengths with others. They recognize that promoting themselves and their value is an essential part of building social networks, expanding business opportunities, and fostering personal growth. Rather than being shy or timid, they actively seek opportunities to introduce themselves, their skills, and their achievements to others. The wealthy are also not reluctant to share their value with others. They understand that sharing their knowledge and experience is not only a way to create positive relationships but also an opportunity to help and support others in their development. In contrast, the poor tend to be reserved and become hesitant when talking about themselves and their achievements. They may feel insecure or not want to appear arrogant when discussing their accomplishments, which can reduce their chances of connecting and leveraging new opportunities they might have. In summary, the willingness to promote oneself and one's value is a prominent trait of the wealthy mindset, helping them create opportunities, build strong social networks, and achieve personal goals. Lesson number 6. The wealthy always overcome greater challenges. The difference in mindset between the wealthy and the poor is often demonstrated by how they face significant problems. The wealthy tend to have the ability to confront larger challenges without fear. Instead of being afraid or avoiding them, they usually find ways to solve the problems with patience and decisiveness. The wealthy understand that overcoming major obstacles is an essential part of growth and success. They have faith in their own abilities and persistently seek solutions to every challenge. Conversely, the poor often tend to fear and avoid major issues. They may be constrained by fear and doubt in their abilities, leading them to shy away from challenges and face failure. In summary, the ability to overcome significant problems is a strength of the wealthy mindset, whether they develop and succeed in business or life. This reflects the patience, decisiveness, and self-confidence that the wealthy typically possess. Lesson 7. The rich choose both, while the poor choose one. The rich often do not limit themselves when it comes to choosing between options. They tend to find ways to get both things they want, rather than facing a situation as either-or. They often create scenarios where they can explore opportunities and do not hesitate to invest time and effort to achieve their goals. On the contrary, the poor often limit themselves in making choices. They tend to focus on choosing between options and usually pick just one of them. This reflects a limitation in thinking and belief in their own abilities. Instead of finding ways to create solutions or combine options, they often choose the easiest or safest path, not fully utilizing their potential. Lesson 8. The rich focus on net worth, not hourly income. The difference in mindset between the rich and the poor is often reflected in how they assess their value. The rich typically concentrate on creating net worth, which is the value they generate after subtracting expenses and debts. They understand that hourly income can provide a steady cash flow, but net worth is what truly determines their financial future. By focusing on creating value and developing sustainable income sources, they can build a solid financial foundation and create more opportunities for themselves in the future. Conversely, the poor often focus too much on their hourly income and pay little attention to net worth. They may work hard every day to earn a stable wage but lack a strategic vision and do not invest enough in developing sustainable income sources. This often leads to financial instability and difficulty in achieving long-term goals. Lesson 9. The rich are smart with money. The rich often have an intelligent and profound approach to money, which is a clear difference compared to the poor. They not only focus on earning money but also know how to manage and use it effectively. This often includes investing in high-potential opportunities, creating streams of passive income, and finding ways to optimize returns from each expense. The rich also typically have the foresight to look ahead and manage risks intelligently. They understand that to achieve long-term financial goals, they need to have a specific and meticulous plan. Additionally, they recognize that investing in themselves through learning and skill development is a smart way to ensure future success and financial stability. This creates a clear gap between the approaches to money of the rich and the poor. Lesson 10. The rich build networks and volunteer regularly. The wealthy tend to actively build and nurture their social networks, which sets them apart from the poor. They understand that relationships play a crucial role in opening business opportunities, creating political and social connections, as well as supporting personal journeys and career development. Regularly participating in social events, seminars, or fundraising activities is how they maintain and expand their networks. Additionally, the rich often engage in volunteer activities, understanding that helping the community not only brings personal satisfaction and meaning but also helps build positive relationships and create a positive impact within the community. Volunteering is not only a way to support others but also a way to demonstrate their commitment to society and their values within the community. In summary, these 10 lessons highlight the differences between the rich and the poor, and by adopting the habits of the wealthy, as previously outlined, you will be better equipped to become rich. Dear friends, if you want to be wealthy, you must immediately abandon these 8 harmful habits. Have you ever wondered why, despite working tirelessly, you still feel like you haven't achieved much? Or why life just passes by, and you still don't feel closer to your goals? The answer may lie in your daily habits that you have never realized are silently stealing your precious time. In a shareholder meeting, a young person asked billionaire Warren Buffett what the most important thing in life is. Warren Buffett replied, "Nothing is more precious than time and love, 2 things that cannot be bought with money." He also mentioned that while he can control the time in his life, not everyone can do that. So, how have you been using your time? Don't let bad habits silently steal your precious moments. Let's go over 8 daily habits that might be wasting your time without you even realizing it. Just by changing one thing, you will be 50% closer to your goal. Are you ready to change? Let's start right now. Lesson number 1. Avoid taking shortcuts. The story of the cattle thief below is a valuable lesson. A cattle thief was caught and harshly punished by the district magistrate. In the past, cattle were valuable assets, so the crime of cattle theft was severely punished. Therefore, the magistrate gave the thief 3 choices: pay a fine of 10 taels of silver, endure 30 lashes, or eat 2 pounds of cow dung. The thief did not want to lose money, nor did he want to swallow cow dung. Thinking that he was young and strong, he chose the physical punishment of enduring 30 lashes. However, after only 15 lashes, he could no longer bear the pain and decided to eat the cow dung. After a few bites, he started vomiting and ultimately had to pay the 10 taels of silver. Reflect on whether you are taking shortcuts and learn to manage your time wisely. In 2014, Elon Musk, the CEO of Tesla, visited China. During the trip, a businessman had the opportunity to meet privately with Elon Musk for 30 minutes to discuss Tesla's biggest challenge in the Chinese market at that time: building public charging stations. This businessman, who was acquainted with executives from petrochemical corporations, proposed a bold plan. They would provide 500 of the best gas stations to install charging stations. However, upon hearing the term Chinese petrochemicals, Elon Musk immediately requested to end the discussion. He explained that Tesla's mission is to help the world break free from fossil fuel dependency, and partnering with an oil company was a shortcut he had no interest in. The meeting, which was scheduled to last 30 minutes, ended in just 5 minutes. Elon Musk declined because he understood that those who seek shortcuts often end up taking unnecessary detours. Taking shortcuts may solve problems quickly and efficiently but often leads to minimal success, while the majority end in failure, wasting time and resources. Consider this: would you choose the longer but more sustainable path, or take the risk of shortcuts, only to find yourself lost and searching for a way out? This is a long-term benefit equation that each of us needs to consider carefully in our journey to wealth and life transformation. In 100 attempts to take shortcuts, you may only succeed 10 times. The remaining attempts not only fail to achieve the goal but also waste valuable time. This shows that the overall effectiveness of seeking shortcuts is often much lower compared to following a sustainable and correct path. It's important to remember that even though taking shortcuts may seem quick and initially effective, it does not guarantee stability and longevity. People often say that taking the straight path, although it may seem slow and foolish, is the most sustainable route. As long as the direction is correct, the benefits gained will be very stable and solid. Lesson number 2. Not understanding opportunity cost. In reality, we often spend a lot of time looking for a better method, but there aren't always many better options to choose from. Sometimes, we are too smart to make changes, but forget that no matter how good the method is, it must be implemented patiently and meticulously, like a fool. A typical example in economics is the concept of sunk cost. Suppose you buy a ticket to watch a movie, but after just 20 minutes, you realize the movie is terrible. The question arises, do you continue watching or stop? Statistics show that 93% of people will continue watching because they think they have already spent money on the ticket and do not want to waste it. However, continuing to watch is actually a mistake because the value of the ticket has become a sunk cost, and you should stop to avoid wasting more of your time. Dear friends, these lessons are extremely important in managing time and personal effort. Be careful and think thoroughly before deciding to take shortcuts, and always remember that perseverance and persistence will bring long-lasting and solid success. Imagine you are watching a movie, and after the first 20 minutes, you realize it's not as expected. Instead of continuing, remember that you still have a precious 1 hour and 40 minutes left. This time could be used to read a book, have coffee with friends, or simply go home and rest. These choices will certainly bring more value than trying to finish a dull movie. In life, some events and decisions become unreasonable over time. We need to learn to let go, even if we have invested a lot of emotions and time. Sometimes, having the courage to give up is the smartest move. Sunk costs cannot be recovered, and continuing to invest in them only wastes more of your resources. The world always opens new doors, and only when you dare to let go of the old can you grasp new opportunities. This is not advice to give up easily, but a reminder to know when to stop, reevaluate, and take a new and more effective direction. Reflect on your current life. How many things are you holding on to just because you've invested so much in them? Sometimes, these difficult but necessary decisions are the key to long-term success and happiness. This is the lesson of wise abandonment, an important skill for everyone, especially for mature men looking to optimize their lives and work. Lesson number 3. Avoiding trouble. In this life, we often get stuck in unhealthy habits, such as staying up late watching movies or playing games. These habits not only affect our health but also hinder personal and professional development. When we decide to abandon these habits, we are actually creating space and time for more beneficial activities, such as reading books or developing skills. Letting go is not a sign of failure but a decision toward a better future. Sometimes persistence in wrong things is simply due to an unwillingness to face the truth. Indeed, obsessions and stubbornness can become significant barriers in our lives. The story of Wu Ming-yi, a renowned Taiwanese journalist and writer, is a typical example. He gave up learning to swim at the age of 15 and later regretted it when he couldn't join the person he liked at 18. Similarly, he quit learning English and later had to turn down a great job due to insufficient language skills. These decisions to avoid short-term trouble often lead to greater regrets in the long run. For example, buying a house without carefully considering its quality, location, or surroundings can cause unnecessary problems. Likewise, in relationships, avoiding apologies or comforting the other person after an argument can lead to irreparable breakdowns. These lessons remind us that sometimes, letting go of bad habits, although difficult, is a necessary step toward long-term success and happiness. Consider, reflect, and choose what is truly important and beneficial for your life, rather than merely chasing fleeting pleasures. This is the key to living better in this life. Next is an interesting story about the importance of not shying away from difficulties and working hard in business. The story begins with a regret: "If only I had apologized at those moments." This reminds us of the butterfly effect. A small action today can lead to significant consequences in the future. In the Round Table program, the director talked about a friend of his who owns a restaurant. For over 10 years, this restaurant has always been busy, despite not having any advertising or marketing campaigns. Their secret is simple. The restaurant owner spends from 6 a.m. until noon selecting fresh ingredients at the market. This persistence has given the restaurant a reputation for quality without any marketing campaigns. The initial reaction of many people upon hearing this might be that it's too troublesome. However, the important thing to realize here is that investing time and effort to address a specific problem can help us avoid many unnecessary troubles later on. In the case of the director's friend, his patience and diligence in selecting ingredients have helped his restaurant not only save on advertising costs but also attract customers because of the excellent quality of the food. This story is a profound lesson for all of us. Sometimes, tasks that seem troublesome and time-consuming are actually the key to unlocking great success in the future. Always be ready to face challenges and not shy away from difficulties, as this is how we build a solid foundation for our careers and lives. There is a restaurant where the owner doesn't need to spend money on advertising, yet customers still flock to it. This reminds us that sometimes, spending time to thoroughly resolve a problem can save more time in the long run. Being willing to deal with inconvenience is not just a virtue but also an important skill. In another story, a disciple of Confucius was sweeping the yard when a visitor arrived and asked a seemingly simple question: "How many seasons are there in a year?" The disciple replied that there are 4 seasons, but the visitor insisted there were only 3. After some debate, they made a bet. If the visitor was wrong, he would bow 3 times, and vice versa. When Confucius appeared and was asked, he said that there are 3 seasons, which astonished his disciple. It turned out that the visitor was a grasshopper, living only from spring to autumn and never experiencing winter. Through this story, Confucius wanted to teach his student that everyone has their own perspective and experiences of the world, and what we consider as correct knowledge may not always be universally accepted. This implies that in both business and life, we should always be ready to face and resolve complex problems from different perspectives, not just based on what we believe to be true. These lessons help us not only in managing our time and effort but also in our approach to problem solving in daily life. Remember that sometimes listening and observing carefully can open up deeper insights and help us achieve success in all areas. Lesson 4: Meaningless Arguments. Next, I want to share a story full of meaning that helps us understand better how to handle difficult situations and annoying people in both life and business. The story begins with a grasshopper, born in the spring and dead by the fall. As such, it never experiences winter. When talking about the seasons in a year, the grasshopper only knows of 3 and is unaware of winter. This is akin to the old proverb, "Grasshoppers cannot discuss frost." The story might be true or not, but the lesson drawn from it is immensely valuable. If you can apply it, it could help you live an additional 10 years by avoiding useless conflicts. Many people, after hearing this story, have seen a significant improvement in their mental well-being. They no longer get angry with those who have a different way of thinking blindly. By remembering that the world has many 3-season people, they have learned to overlook and not be bothered by unnecessary disagreements. In reality, those who are the loudest often have the least understanding. Sometimes, we may inadvertently fall into the trap of wanting to prove ourselves right, leading to wasted time and energy on meaningless arguments. These debates not only fail to resolve the issue but also strain relationships. The advice here is to recognize that we don't always need to convince others or win every argument. Sometimes, letting go of the need to prove ourselves right and accepting that everyone has their own perspectives is the best way to save time and maintain peace of mind. We cannot change others' thoughts, but we can manage how we react and keep our lives unaffected by unnecessary negativity. There is a small story about a person who asked a master for the secret to happiness. The master replied that one should not argue with foolish people. When the person disagreed, the master simply responded, "Yes, you are right." This is a profound lesson. Don't waste time on useless arguments. You cannot change others' thoughts, but you can choose not to let those arguments affect you. Lesson 5. Not knowing how to ask questions. In business and life, asking the right questions is just as important. When encountering a problem, think and evaluate by yourself first before asking others. Only when truly necessary should you ask others, to avoid becoming someone who always raises their hand for help. Some basic questions can be answered through Google without bothering others. Be careful with how you phrase your questions. For example, if you ask a vendor if their fruit is good, the answer will always be yes, because the question contains the answer. Instead, ask more constructive and challenging questions. Rather than asking, "How do you make money?" ask, "What strategies have you used to increase your customer base?" Remember, the way you ask questions reflects how you think. High-quality questions not only help you gain useful information but also build positive relationships with those around you. This saves time and energy for what truly matters while expanding opportunities and building future success in both business and life. How we ask questions can greatly impact our work efficiency and social relationships. Ineffective questions often do not yield desired results and may even leave others with a poor impression of us. When you ask, "How do I execute this plan?" without preparation, you may be seen as lazy and unprofessional. People might think you are just trying to make demands without wanting to think for yourself. Conversely, an effective question is one that is carefully thought out before being asked. For example, you could present two options you have considered and seek opinions to choose the best one. This approach not only shows your thoughtfulness but also makes it easier for others to support you. Lesson number 6. Not daring to self-assess and confront mistakes. One of the key points to success is knowing how to learn from one's mistakes. Many people work diligently but still fail to achieve their expected success because they don't know how to analyze and learn lessons from their failures. The frightening thing is not making mistakes but repeating those mistakes without improvement. Every failure is an opportunity for us to become stronger and smarter, but the important thing is to recognize the mistake, accept it, and not repeat it. Only when you dare to face and correct mistakes can you truly make progress and achieve greater goals in life and career. Watch closely, each day is a new opportunity to learn, grow, and become the best version of yourself. In life and business, acknowledging and correcting mistakes is not easy, but it is the foundation for growth and success. If you do not correct your mistakes, or even intentionally hide or make excuses for them, you will easily become a failure. When you notice something is wrong, you need to stop, examine the issue, and only continue acting once you fully understand everything. This is like driving. If you see a problem, you must stop immediately. If you keep going without correcting your mistakes, they will become habits, and then it will be very hard to change. Ultimately, fixing the consequences will take much more time. Another point is that when someone always blames others, they will never improve. No one changes just because you complain. Real change begins when you dare to face and recognize your own mistakes. You don't necessarily have to publicly admit them, but in your heart, you must acknowledge and accept them. Even if you say the mistake is someone else's fault, in your heart, you know that you need to make changes. Remember, whenever something doesn't go as expected, you need to take some responsibility and adjust the mistakes. Because changing yourself is the most reliable thing you can do, not changing others. Living means constantly changing yourself and recognizing that mistakes are an indispensable part of life. They are prerequisites for a real and developing life. Mistakes are essential in life. They are conditions for us to have real experiences and grow. To live in the real world, you must accept that this world is not perfect and mistakes are inevitable. Remember that mistakes never exist in the present. You only realize you've made a mistake after the event has passed. Therefore, torturing yourself over past mistakes is not only unhelpful but also causes unnecessary suffering. The most effective way to minimize mistakes is not to blame yourself but to document them. Write down what you did wrong, analyze the process, and find the most important lesson you can learn from it. Acknowledge the errors, accept them, and forgive yourself, which will help you avoid repeating them in the future. Recognize that time is the most valuable asset we have. Unlike money, time cannot be accumulated or preserved. If you do not use it wisely by learning from mistakes and not repeating them, you will save precious time. This allows you to focus on building and developing your career and improving the quality of your life. Always remember that every mistake is a stepping stone to becoming smarter and wiser. Lesson 7. Don't let the habit of procrastination drown you. Dear friend, if you are striving to become wealthy and change your life, I want to share some deep reflections on the harm of procrastination and how to overcome it to achieve success and find more happiness in life. Procrastination is not just a waste of time. It is also a significant barrier that prevents you from exploring your potential. I recently watched a very impressive TED Talk about the inner world of chronic procrastinators. Not everything in life has clear deadlines, such as deciding to start a business, changing jobs, ending an unsuitable relationship, or even losing weight. These goals are important but often do not seem urgent. As a result, we may delay taking action indefinitely. The frightening reality is that we might procrastinate until we realize we have lost the opportunity or no longer have time, leading to prolonged regret and frustration. If procrastination is a barrier, you should not let yourself be stuck in front of it for too long. No matter how busy you are, if you want to read, you can start with short periods. If you cannot go to the gym, start by taking the stairs. If you want to improve your English skills, try reading along with an English article. One of the most foolish things in life is to accept living an unhappy life for many years without being willing to spend a few years improving yourself. If you do not give your best effort, you have no right to say you cannot do it. I once heard a saying that if you start taking action, you have already surpassed 99% of people. This proves that taking immediate action is the best way to deal with and overcome procrastination. Remember, completing a task is more important than making it perfect. People who procrastinate do not always do so because they do not want to act, but because they fear not doing it perfectly. They overthink and set unrealistic standards that they feel they cannot achieve. As a result, they hesitate and cannot start. Chronic procrastinators often plan too tightly, and when they begin, they realize they cannot complete the tasks. Instead, learn to set reasonable goals and start with small steps, gradually changing your life in a more positive direction. Lesson 8. Refuse to dilly-dally. In both work and study, over-planning beyond your practical capabilities is a common mistake. This not only leads to disappointment but also breeds the habit of procrastination. For instance, if you know it takes 3 hours to complete a writing task, setting a goal to finish it in 2 hours will only result in procrastination when you realize it's unattainable. Similarly, in personal relationships, there are times when you're asked for help but may not want to accept. In my case, a friend invited me to teach, a job I wasn't interested in. Initially, I declined by saying I was too busy and needed more time. After a month, when my friend asked again, I gave a similar excuse. Eventually, I spoke honestly about my feelings, which strained our friendship. That moment made me realize that a straightforward refusal from the beginning would have been better than prolonging the situation. From this experience, I learned that as adults, we need not hide or lie to maintain appearances for others. A clear and honest refusal from the start not only saves time but also shows respect to others, as they understand your stance without feeling their time is wasted. In life, refusals are inevitable, but learning how to refuse without causing harm or discomfort to both parties is an important skill. I used to be very concerned about rejecting others, but then I realized that decisively saying no is a way of respecting both my own time and theirs. When you allow others to waste your time, you're essentially permitting it to happen. Once, I was invited to an event I wasn't interested in. Initially, I indirectly declined by saying I was busy. However, a month later, when approached again, I continued to give a similar excuse. Eventually, I directly admitted the truth that I didn't want to participate. While this strained our relationship, I realized that honesty and straightforwardness help minimize wasted time for both parties. In other situations, if you can't attend an event due to prior commitments, try expressing regret and suggesting an alternative option. For example, you can acknowledge how great the location and food are but express genuine regret that you already have plans on that day. This approach not only shows respect but also helps the other person accept the rejection more easily. Furthermore, if you're asked for help but can't accommodate, you can propose an alternative solution. I may not be able to help you with this issue, but I have another suggestion you could try. This shows continued care and effort to help in a different way. Learning to gracefully and effectively decline not only saves time but also contributes to building healthy and sustainable relationships in both career and personal life. Thank you all for taking the time to watch this video. We sincerely appreciate your support and hope to bring even more value in the future. Please like if you found this video helpful and subscribe to our channel for the latest updates. Every like, share, and subscription is a great encouragement for us. Thank you sincerely, and wishing you a wonderful day. See you in the upcoming videos. Summary Books. Wishing you success.